What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews, albums, EPs, singles, and all that kind of stuff. My name is Aaron. Hope you're all having a great day. We're going to be checking out the new single Knives by the band Bullet For My Valentine. The metalcore band from Wales is back with their 7th studio album, which is their self-titled album. For those of you who don't know, Bullet For My Valentine has been around since about 1998, but they're under a different name, and they've been under their current name since 2003. There's a lot of different bands that got people into more like hardcore and metalcore and just harder styles of music than what they were listening to when they were younger. And Killswitch Engage and As I Lay Dying is probably like the number one pick for like most people that like got them into this style of music. But for me, it's Bullet For My Valentine. They were one of 4 bands. The other 3 is probably like Lamb of God, Shadows Fall, and Avenged Sevenfold, of course. That's also another really big one that gets people into this. But as far as like the OG metalcore bands go, for me, Bullet For My Valentine is like ground zero. So needless to say, this is a pretty nostalgic band for me, and I do have some bias going into it. I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible. But in the past, when they've come out with absolute just crap sounding songs that you don't even want to listen to, I'm just like, it's not that bad. So I'm going to try and just be as straight down the middle as possible and not try and love it just for the sake of loving it, at least. The word knives is used as a metaphor in the song, and it's kind of like just cutting people, separating people, dividing people sort of thing, is probably pointing at like political things and political leaders, I would assume, is referring to also how things are handled throughout the song. It might not be that. It's just so simple to just assume that because that's what a lot of bands are doing these days. Or it could just be about a really toxic person that is just dividing friendships. I'm not really entirely sure what the lyrics are about. The lyrics are pretty decent, although the choruses do become kind of repetitive and very predictable after a while, especially with the vocal style. Knives has an explosive intro with very, very powerful drums, and it makes its presence known. I would say the drums are probably the best part of this song. I mean, the drums and the vocals are really good too, but there's a lot of breaks and stops throughout the verses. It's very stop and go for the guitar riff and the vocals. But I've said this before in other reviews where when the lyrics rhyme, it really helps the flow of the song go, especially in this stop and go kind of rhythm pattern they have going on. It just really helps it just roll right on through. And the chorus is huge. It has a fat, slow riff with some nasty vocals, and the lyrics bring out the knives is such a good hook, and it's so catchy, and it just stays in your head throughout the rest of the song. And you just kind of don't really see it coming. It kind of pops up out of nowhere, it seems like. The second and third verses are basically the same, just the third verse is shorter, but a little bit heavier just because there's a constant guitar riff being played throughout instead of it taking a break every time the vocals do. The second verse is basically the same as well too, except for the fact that it's twice as long. The drum solo going into the bridge is dope. I loved it so much. And the bridge is pretty brutal as well. But the guitar melody, that's just this ominous guitar melody playing in the breakdown. I mean, it's just, the song just becomes heavier and heavier, specifically in those areas. I love all the little nuances that they threw in there. Knives ends on a final chorus followed by an outro. Even though this is kind of a cookie cutter metalcore song, it's pretty sick. I'm trying not to be biased about it, but I enjoyed this quite a bit. And there's not really like a single thing that really just stands out from this song, but it's a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting something to be closer to like Architects or Bring Me the Horizon or something along those lines, but all these little nuances that they threw in there throughout the song give a little bit more character, and I feel like it makes it stand out more amongst other bands and songs that sound kind of basically the same. I just wish the song wasn't so cookie cutter and basic and just traditional, just metalcore. I just wish the song wasn't so cookie cutter and basic and generic, and it's just traditional metalcore sound that almost every band has kind of adopted, and they don't really venture too far out of the box. Even though they did a little bit in some areas here, it just wasn't really anything that explored all that much. It wasn't too overly creative, or it just kind of played it safe in a sense. I mean, even everything from the guitar riff, the vocal performance, even the song structure, and just the lyrical content is just all kind of cliche and stereotypical to what metalcore is nowadays. Even though the song is heavy and it's a lot better than I was expecting it to be, it's just it doesn't stand out enough, I feel like. So with all that said, I got to give Knives by Bullet For My Valentine a 3.8 out of 5. I will say that if this is the sound that they're bringing to their new album, then I'm excited for it. As long as this isn't like the heaviest song they've ever done, or this is the heaviest track off of their new album, like a lot of metalcore bands are advertising these days. It's like A Day to Remember did that, where they talked about how this is the heaviest thing, and all the fans just wanted something heavy, and it was just absolute crap. It was such a bad song. And it was hyped up so much just for its heaviness. And if this is like the heaviest song on the album and all the other songs fall flat and they just don't really keep the energy up throughout the album, I feel like this is probably going to be the best song on it, unfortunately. So I just really hope that this is it. This is the sound they're going for, and this is the direction they're going in for this album. But I want to know what you guys think. If you've heard Knives before, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you thought. If you haven't, go ahead and click on the link below. Give it a listen and let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what I should review next. It'll be featured on Request Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the little bell icon. That way it just helps me out, helps my channel out, builds up my ego. And that way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming stuff, especially if you leave a request. Because a lot of times people leave requests and they don't subscribe and they don't see it for months later, and it just makes me sad. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time. I was trying to make it